I'm so sorry. It's been 6 months. I cannot even really understand how 6 months has gone by, but that just goes to show you that time flies whether you're trying to work on your goals or not. So what can I say? I work 5 days a week. This is the time where there's lots of overtime. The kids are out of school. We went on vacation during this time. I gained some weight and then I lost it again. I gained some muscle. Like a lot has happened. So here goes. My name is Ebony. Welcome to Becoming Bianca. I have lost 35, 40 pounds on a GLP-1. I started May 13th of last year at 207-ish. At least I stopped counting at 207. I might have been even bigger than that, to be honest. And right now I am hovering in the high 160s, low 170s. I'm going to move over here so that I can post the numbers later in editing, but I'm going to be going through the numbers right here on my iPad and letting everyone know where I'm at. So for clarity, I am still on a GLP-1. Have moved back into weight loss phase. So I maintained my weight for a good 6 months. My weight has always fluctuated a lot, I think, because of inflammation and water gain. I have an autoimmune disease. I have Hashimoto's. So a lot of times I can be up or down 10 pounds even in 1 week, depending on if I am eating the way I'm supposed to or not. So basically, I would say I have maintained my weight since December of last year, which is great, right? That's great. I've been on a GLP-1 just over a year. So happy 1 year anniversary, which was actually back in June, which I planned on, no, May. Oh my goodness, May 13th would have been my 1 year. And I planned on doing a 1 year update at that time. But look, I blinked and another 3 months has gone by. So here I am. I'm still on a GLP-1, maintained for 6 months, almost really just kind of was at a stall for 6 months, cross between maintenance and stalling. But I think I'm about to break through the plateau again. So it really just depends on how you look at it because my DEXA scan showed great results that I'm super proud of. And my last video posted ever was 4 months ago where I said that I took my DEXA scan and I was at no, I was at like 29, just under 30% body fat, which was so incredible to me because that morning I actually weighed 174, which in January of this year, I hit the all-time low of 161. But I remember in January, I remember feeling very like weak and squishy. I wasn't used to the like more muscular build that I've always had my whole life. More solid, like even when I was well over 200 pounds, I wasn't ever like super soft and squishy. But so the point is that DEXA scan was great. It surprised me, but it goes to show that like I was 161 in January, 174 at this DEXA scan with 28% body fat. And you can't just always go by the scale. We're going to go with the low weigh-ins. So my high could have been a lot higher, but we go with the new low for the month. So December, I had a low of 164. Okay, January, I had a low weigh-in of 161.8, which is shocking to think back about that because I have not been that low since then. In fact, 161 has probably the lowest I had been in probably 15 to 20 years, to be honest. And even in my young days when I was a size 4'6", I was always between probably like 155 and 165. So I'm really just trying to get back to that, even if my body takes on a different shape now that I'm older and I've had kids. I always feel like I feel and look my best around that weight. So that was in January, but interestingly, I was not really happy with how I was looking or feeling at that time, even though the scale was really low. So going into February, my low weigh-in was 164. Low weigh-in for March was 164. So you see, I hit that low back in December, and well into March, I was still that weight. Oh, end of March, we went to Cancun. And the first 4 days was at an all-inclusive. And my goal during that time was to do whatever I want, eat whatever I want. I was not going to be at an all-inclusive and not, I know this is not probably healthy, but stuff my face. So I ate and drank whatever I wanted. I did not care. But I also, played in the pool, walked, even went to the gym a couple times and lifted really, really heavy because I was trying to kind of see what would happen if I had my appetite, ate whatever I wanted, and lifted really heavy. So we went to Cancun March 31st, and the last shot that I had before that trip was like on March 20th because I wanted to be around the 7 to 10 day mark when my normal appetite felt like it was starting to come back. And sure enough, let me tell you, my DEXA scan for May showed that I gained 4 pounds of muscle and half a pound of fat, only half a pound. And that is without tracking macros, guys, without tracking macros, without being obsessive about the gym and the weights, but just kind of just trying to get a feel for what's really difficult and pushing myself a little bit past that. But for the most part, and especially with the food, because food is so important. But I did not track protein. I did try to lean more towards protein-rich things while we were at the all-inclusive resort. Like I didn't go crazy with sweets, actually. It was just food, lots of food, good food. And sure enough, I don't know if I can attribute it to just that week or just kind of around that time. Because even when we came back, I was trying to keep it going with eating lots of good food and lifting really heavy. And so the DEXA scan showed that in May, which would have marked, I wanted to get the DEXA scan at the 1 year mark. So I gained 4 pounds of muscle since the DEXA scan before that, where I told you guys I was just under 30% body fat. So then my low weigh in April was 167. Because let me tell you, even though my low weigh in for March was 164, when I got back from Cancun, I had shot up to 175. But between the heat, probably a little dehydration, drinking tequila, eating whatever I wanted, lifting really heavy at the resort, I just tried to put it out of my mind, and I knew that that would go back down pretty quickly. So then May, sure enough, my low weigh-in was only 166, so 175, who cares? Now let's get into June, getting a little bit closer to where we are today. My low weigh-in was 171. Okay, 171. Still fitting my clothes. Everything's still fitting. July, low weigh-in only 171. And I'm happy to report that for this month so far, August, my low weigh-in is 169 because I wanted to get out of the 170s. I could see myself, even though I had low weigh-ins the past, 6, 8 months of this year in the 160s, for the most part, I was always like 169 to 172, 173. And for me, that was just too close to being too high, if that makes sense. It's just too easy for me to put on 5, 10, maybe even 15 pounds. And then I'm at a spot where I'm feeling like I need to lose weight or I need to get back on track. So I would like to just get to the point where I'm like done. I'm just done for the most part. And that would, for me, I'm thinking it's going to be like 150 to 160. The goal is to stay under 160 for the foreseeable future, for the rest of my life, hopefully. All right, so that is all for the weigh-ins. Okay, now so let's just kind of go back to the last official update that I gave you, which was the 37-week update. If you notice, starting in February, I kind of was just living my life. I felt like, man, I have been in the 160s for months. I'm kind of just eating when I feel really hungry, trying to work out at least a couple times a week, at least once or twice, lift really heavy. I know that sounds low, but guys, you would be surprised the difference that you can make in your body. You're not killing yourself. It's not 5 days a week. Let's look more on a week by week basis. You'll notice there's a lot of red here. There's a lot of red. And that's because I was just kind of going up and down. And the app that I use also gives you a moving average. It gives you a 10-day high and a 10-day low. So you can kind of see where you're at. I know the scale can be so scary for people. But when you start to just look at it as data and see where you're trending, it takes away the fear. It lets you know what direction you're headed. So February, March, it's winter time. Probably not moving as much as I need to. And even though my lows were still in the 160s, you can see that there started to be like some stuff where I was a little bit higher. So here, you can look at my log, look at March 30th. 166. That's the day before we leave for Mexico. And Wednesday the 9th, which was like the day after we got back, 175. Okay, so there's my proof in the pudding. But look at April. By the end of April, I was back into the high 160s, no problem at all. Yeah, May in the 160s, 170s. June, I only weighed myself 3 times. Okay, June, I was 171, 173, 171. And so I was starting to see a trend where I'm like, okay, I'm like always 171. It's almost like I have this set point. And I think I weighed a lot more times, but didn't always log it in the book. I just kept seeing 171. So it's like, well, what's the point of putting it in my app? So knowing that, and this was just 2 months ago in June, and you can also see in July, it was getting really, really high. So, but it was kind of like this wake up call where I'm like, okay, on my next refill, it's time to go up. It's time to go up a little bit, maybe even if it's not a full dose, where some people go from like 5 to 7.5. The beautiful thing about the compounded version coming in the vials is you can control the dose. Basically, I've gone up to 6. So I've gone up to 6 milligrams. And in a later video, I want to talk about Lavender Sky Health, the changes with GLP-1, the dosing and the effect that it's had on me. But right now, I just want to let you guys know that I'm still here. I'm maintaining, things are okay.